It is a crash. There's no doubt about that. This is the kind of behavior you're seeing when we are near some kind of capitulation low. This is where good stocks and bad stocks are being sold indiscriminately with the viewpoint of just get me out at any price. I don't want to be in the market anymore. It's no longer fun. And it's also the kind of behavior you're seeing very near stock market lows. So what I'm actually predicting here, sticking my head out, is that I've seen it before. I saw it in 2000, I saw it in 2002. The kind of price activity we're seeing right now is simply people saying, I can't stand this anymore. There's too much pain. I'm losing too much money. I want to get out. And I believe that by the time we meet next week, we will have higher prices again. I'm not saying that 2008 is not going to be a rocky ride. I definitely think it is. To some extent, by many measures, we're already in a bear market. But the kind of behavior we're seeing right now resembles what we saw in 2000, where the Dow plunges 2,000 points only to recover 1,500 points, back another 2,000 points. And I think it's going to be a wild ride in 2008.
How much of this has got to do with the holiday in New York? Because often you'd have these sharp falls in Hong Kong, for example, and then New York would open later in the day and it'd be up, and then everyone would be up the next day. It's the fact that they weren't open yesterday that everyone's panicking about what's going to happen there.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't help that we have the biggest liquidity market in the world not being there to provide liquidity to the rest of the world, and all of a sudden we found this void, so to speak, and you can imagine when an aeroplane is flying and there's a void, it drops, and the stock market is very much like that.
But the futures prices for New York are down, so people are predicting that there will be falls in New York tonight.
Oh, there'll be big falls in New York tonight. We're already calling the Dow Jones index down some 600 points. The question is, how much of that is outside forces trying to hedge yourself against the potential fall in New York, and how much is genuine selling? It's impossible to tell right now. We won't know for another 10 hours or so.
And are we just talking about confidence here, or is this quite rational, do you think, looking at the economic figures that have been coming out recently?
It's never rational. It's never rational to have these kind of sell-offs. It's, if you ever study the old masters like Rockefeller and Rothschild, who were, stock market masters, they have always said that the best time to be a buyer of the stock market is when there's blood in the street. And, there is blood in the street right now, and I firmly believe that this is irrational behavior. And that's not to say that we're going to go back up to the old highs that we saw at the end of last year, but I do think that this is vastly overdone, and this 20% correction we've seen over the last 3 or 4 weeks is way overdone.
George Soros is describing it as a financial crisis. You'd be mad to buy into a market when there's a financial crisis.
Yeah, I always do the opposite of what George says on the public
He's
statement.
been right in the past.
Yeah, he has, but he also uses that as his force to go. I am sure that he's a buyer right now.